Hey students, Mr. Wiegand here. I'm going to tell you about the 8 pieces of the college application process. And conveniently, there's also 8 pieces in a pizza pie. And I'm going to tell you about how this goes, and hopefully you're going to get a little something out of it, and it's going to be kind of fun at the same time. So, when you're doing your college applications, there's 8 aspects that I want to tell you about, and I'm going to spend just a little bit of time on each one of them so you understand. Probably the most important aspect of your college application, the most important piece, is your GPA Class Rank, okay? And your GPA and Class Rank is available from your guidance counselor. And what the GPA and Class Rank does is it allows colleges to see how you are compared to other students that are in your school, in your area, in your state, and in your region. And it's a pretty good indicator. So if you don't know it already, contact your guidance counselor. Could be me, could be Mrs. Pruss, could be Mr. Gray or Mrs. Evans, and find out what your GPA and Class Rank is. Okay, we have it available. The next most important thing, I would say, in a college application is the courses taken. Okay, so what this means is throughout high school, you're going to have an opportunity to choose a lot of different classes. Now, it's important to understand that other students that are applying to the same college you are also taking difficult courses. So if you've challenged yourself along the way and gotten pretty good grades, you're in business, okay? But if you've taken a lot of like easy classes and kind of really taking it easy, colleges are going to look at that and say, well, you should really challenge yourself a little bit more because it helps prepare you for college. So if you've had some honors classes, if you've had some AP classes, you should be in good shape, okay? Probably the next most important thing I would say is your college essay. Now, with colleges and universities kind of waiving the SAT, meaning that because of COVID, the SAT is really not as important as a factor in your college applications as it used to be back in the old days before COVID. More colleges are looking at how you are writing in assessing your application and in evaluating you as a student. So it's important to really focus on your college essay. And you should be having an opportunity to touch on this a little bit in your English 12 class. Now, a lot of college essays will give you a real basic kind of topic. They're not going to ask specific questions. And it really is kind of a trick, I think, to see how you put words together. Okay, most college essays are about 400 words, 500 words, and it usually is on a pretty broad topic. So it's really kind of a way to see how you write, how you think, how you put words together. Okay, and believe it or not, college admissions folks are really well trained in being able to decipher how, in the manner that which you answer the question, what kind of student that you can become at their institution. So that's very important. So work on your college essay. And most colleges and universities will ask you for an essay or a personal statement, things of that nature. One more thing on the essay. You also want to write about something that's going to grab their attention, okay? You don't want to write the same old mundane stuff, okay? You want to maybe, if you're funny, put some funny things in there. If you've had a unique experience, try to talk about that if that answers the question. Because you want your essay to kind of grab the other person or the college admissions representative, and you want that essay to be memorable as well. Another factor that's important, and a lot of you are already starting to think about this, is recommendations. Okay, my pizza's looking a little bad here. Stay. So recommendations. This is how teachers think of you and how you perform in the actual class. So a lot of colleges are going to say, hey, give me a letter or two, a letter of recommendation. Now, when you're thinking about your letters of recommendation, of course you're going to want to ask the teacher that loves you and that you love them, and they're going to rate you this wonderful thing, and you're the best person that's ever walked on the earth, and all that. And I get that, and that could be one of your letters. But if you have an opportunity to ask a teacher for a letter of recommendation in maybe a course that you kind of struggled in, or if you can think back to 11th grade, maybe you had a real difficult time in a particular class and you had to overcome some obstacles and really work hard to get a B, maybe you want that teacher to give you a letter of recommendation because it shows that you persevered, you worked hard, you stuck with it, these kind of things. So the flowery, good, you're the best person in the world essay has its place, but also you want one that shows that, hey, you ran into some adversity, because the reality is in life and in college, you're going to run into some adversity. Okay, so you're going to kind of want a letter to go into a little bit of that. Now the next thing is the SAT and the ACT. There's a bad looking pizza. So the SAT and the ACT back in the old pre-COVID days were pretty important in a college application process. Of course, this year most colleges have waived the SAT because you can't get in to take it. And also our SAT school day that we were supposed to have here at Rising Sun High got canceled. That was in late March because COVID canceled that. However, the SATs and ACTs still have a place in the college application because it's an opportunity to see how you perform to a greater group of people, where you stand in comparison to other people that took the same test on the same day at the same time. So it's a pretty reliable source of how you perform as a student and the knowledge that you have. So SATs and ACTs have their place, but they're not as important as they used to be. And my personal belief is from this point forward, in the coming years, so if you have any younger brothers or sisters, they're still going to want to maybe take a look at the SATs, but I think colleges are probably going to adjust in the next couple of years so that SATs might not be as important in college applications as they used to be. They still have a place, but they're not everything back in the old days like they were. The next thing is, this is kind of a difficult one too, activities. Now here's the deal with that. Obviously, nobody's doing any activities here in school. We don't have any sports. We don't have any clubs. COVID has kind of gotten rid of that. So what you want to do is you want to kind of focus on what you have been in, and maybe if you are doing things outside of school on your college application, if it asks for that. Do you do volunteer work at your church? Do you go and walk dogs for the little old lady that lives down the street? These kind of things are going to start to take a little bit more of an importance for teenagers, because a lot of our activities had to do with being in school. Maybe you're in the National Honor Society and you guys did all kind of service. Obviously, still mention that. Maybe in your junior year you were on some sports teams. Still mention that. Still mention all your activities. And colleges understand that you're not able to do them this year. But if you're doing things outside of school, throw those in there too. And actually, you might even want to prioritize them a little bit because of COVID. Because it's, and of course, you can't do a whole lot with COVID. You got to pick and choose what you're doing and socially distance and all that stuff. The next thing, the quality of the application. Hopefully it's not the quality of this pizza, that it's a little bit better than that. This is making me crazy here. Hold on a second here. Hold on, we're gonna have some repairs on the pizza here. All right. How are we looking? All right. There we go. All right. Quality of the application. This is important because you're going to be doing your application online, all right? And back in the old days, kids would come up with me with papers and we made sure they weren't wrinkled and stuff, but now everything's online. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to proofread, you're going to have to make sure stuff's not misspelled, you're going to really have to take your time before you hit send on that online application. I can tell you right now, if the person on the other end that's getting your application online, if they get your personal statement, they get your essay, and if they see that on the form that you're making a lot of mistakes and you're not spelling things correctly, that application, I don't care if you have a 4.0, it's going to go right to the bottom of the pile. So you really want to make sure that quality of the application punctuation, all these kind of things, and get somebody else to look at it before you hit send. Okay, because sometimes other people have a better critical eye than we do. So yeah, don't rush through it. Have people proofread it. Make sure it's not, written by somebody that doesn't know what they're doing. All right. The last thing here is I have a miscellaneous category, and that is, if maybe your Uncle Bobby donated $1 million to the school for a new football scoreboard, maybe there's a personal interview, maybe they really like the fact that you do a lot of volunteer hours, maybe they named the college after you, after your parents or something, but these are miscellaneous factors that can come into play. Another thing that you might want to think about is if you have a personal kind of interesting story to tell, you may want to plug that in here as well, and you would certainly want to plug that into the essay. But if you've had some personal experiences that you've overcome, you would want to put that in there as well. So, there are some other factors that do have their place in a college application process. So, as you can see, this is our pizza pie. All right, the college application process is not just one thing. So it's not just GPA and class rank. It's not just your SAT scores. It's not just being captain of the football team, if we had a football team. But it's a combination of all these things that make you up, okay, that make you who you are. And colleges and universities are taking a greater look at all the different factors that you're doing here, okay? They also, one last thing, they check your social media, all right? So don't be putting a bunch of stuff on your social media because it's real easy to check. And if you got some crazy stuff on your social media, they don't want you on campus, okay? Because colleges over the last 4, 5, 6 years have really gone into that social media piece, and they're really taking a look at what kind of students they have on their campus. So please do not, if you have anything like that, get rid of it, because they will look, okay? So I want to thank you for paying attention. I appreciate it, and again, see your counselor. They will help you with this process, and good luck. Thank you.